Hello, social media. This is JJ Hardy with Victory Leadership Coaching here with Hannah. She is a financial coach, and today we're going to be chatting about a really cool topic that we kind of did a pre-discussion with before the live stream, but I think it's going to be interesting how this conversation goes. We're going to talk about mentorship as leaders. Now, there is a distinct difference, and I follow the model in my business where you teach, then you coach, and then you provide mentorship. But it's not always clear to everybody what the difference between the three of those truly are. And so to teach is basically to just give a bunch of information to somebody else. This is how you fill out this spreadsheet. This is how you use this software. This is how I want you to clean these shelves. And you're just giving them the information. Coaching is working alongside of that person while they're figuring it out, assisting them through the implementation of that process of the actually doing it after they learn it. The mentorship, it's such a broad term, but to go over, I'm going to tell you what the definition of mentorship is. And we're just going to base the entire conversation off of that. So mentorship is the guidance provided by a mentor. I hate that. The guidance provided by a mentor, especially an experienced person in a company or educational institution. The quote that they provided is, "He is revered by his employees for his mentorship and problem-solving qualities." So to define what a mentor is, because I absolutely hate that definition, so I just wasted about 15 seconds of everybody's time. Sorry about that. So mentorship is when you have a lot of experience or education in something, and you have years where you've implemented that. Whoever that Facebook user is, probably Michael. Hello, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. But whoever that person is, they are the person that you go to when you need guidance. And this is assuming that you've already been doing the job for a while. You've already been coached through the process of learning that process and implementing that process. But the mentor is the person that you feel comfortable with now that you've done all of that, and you want to continue moving forward, but you want somebody in the background that you can always go to for assistance or help or advice or whatever. And I want to point one thing out that not a lot of people know is that, because I don't know why, but it doesn't have, they don't understand that it doesn't have to be your supervisor. It doesn't have to be a person in your organization. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to. That's a call from my phone. I'm sorry. I usually mute that. Sometimes I forget like a knucklehead. That's what I did today. But the most important thing is that when you need that person, they are there. And it doesn't, these days especially, it doesn't have to be, walking up to your desk and showing you how to do something. That's what your coach is for. So maybe your IT guy can coach you through the process of fixing your email, or your direct supervisor can coach you through the process of selling your insurance policies or cleaning the shelves if you're a frontline employee over at a grocery store or a Lowe's or something. But your mentor is the one who will help you with your development. And it seems like that person would be your direct supervisor, or maybe that person's supervisor. But there's not a lot of that in a lot of organizations. Most people need to find somebody that they can trust to always be there. And that's not always within their chain of command or within their business. Sorry, military lingo, chain of command. I like it. Okay. So what do you think about that, Hannah?
No, it's an interesting point. Especially because I think a mentorship relationship is so much different than a supervisor relationship. You may, what's the word I'm looking for? Like blur some lines And I think it's it may be inappropriate to have a mentorship relationship with a supervisor.
Well, I'm muting my phone. So I don't think it's inappropriate, but the thing about a mentor, it's almost like when you need emotional guidance. Are you always comfortable with going to your supervisor? Not
No,
necessarily.
because that may give them the wrong idea about you, and then they may say, "Oh, she's too emotional and can't handle this kind of stuff."
Yeah. Let me find that guy or gal. Smack him right across it.
But that's what I'm saying is if you're being mentored by your supervisor, I don't know, it kind of that doesn't feel comfortable to me.
Well, the thing is, sometimes when you want help with something, like true help,
Yeah,
if you go directly through your chain of command, they have skin in the game of maybe keeping you where you're at,
that's true.
or maybe they have skin in the game for only giving you so much information, because that next level information could mean that you're kind of stepping out of your lane,
Right.
which I don't know if that's good, bad, right, or wrong. I think it depends on the business and the situation.
Mhm.
But if you find somebody who's not in that organization, that is either in the career field that you're looking to get into, or if they're in the career field that you're in and they have succeeded in it, and you know they don't have that information in their mind where they have to put a ceiling on your growth. I would hope they wouldn't in your organization either, but the fact of the matter is, if you're a good employee, a lot of times people want to keep you in the job that you're in.
Right.
As horrible as that is, it's so hard to find good people, and it's the wrong mentality to have. Bottom line up front. But if you go outside of your organization, or if you go to another section within your organization, and that person has no influence on your development other than the fact that they just want to be there for you, then they're not going to care what kind of information they give you. Well,
Exactly.
they're going to say things to you like, this is what your boss won't tell you, and this is what will help you get to the next level. And that's the type of person you want. And I put a bunch of crap below this in the description for this video, but I think some of the key things that you got to keep in mind is that a good mentor will always tell you what you need to hear. They will not necessarily tell you what you want to hear. They're the honest broker that's going to square you away, regardless of what that looks like in your psyche or how it makes you feel, because they want to make sure you succeed, and how whatever that picture looks like in your mind, they need to help you get there. So they want to serve you, they want to make sure you're good to go, so they're going to tell you what you need so that you can do what you got to do.
Yeah. My mentor, whenever we start a conversation, he goes, "Okay, do you want me to be your coach or do you want me to be your friend?"
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that because one, he's asking for permission, and if I say, "Yeah, I want you to be my coach," then he's going to coach me.
Yep. Yep. Now I have to ask you, so is that coach that you have, is that also your mentor?
Yes.
See, that's what you want right there. That person squares you away through all of your development, including the execution of what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Hey,
and I think it's hard to find.
well, I don't know. So what you do is a little bit different than the typical, this is not like Lowe's, or
Right.
maybe because you do insurance and financial investments. So it's not like your typical office where all of you are sitting there together. I mean, he actually has a stake in how well, if you do well,
Right.
he does well. If your team does well and you do well, he does well. And so by investing well, that's the way the workplace is too, but people don't see that. They just look at,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I got to do this person's job for him too, and they won't shut up and stop asking me questions.
Yeah.
But if he gets you to where you need to be, then you're going to kind of, gosh, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm going to say it. It's almost like when a mom, I'm not gonna use specific terms. When a mom is feeding her baby, right, fresh from the start, eventually, it separates and they move to a bottle. And
Yeah.
then they go from a bottle to now they feed themselves, or maybe
Yeah.
you feed them in the high chair with solid food, and then they go into feeding themselves. And then as they get older, they're able to do more and more by themselves. Well, that's the way you need to look at the teach, coach, mentor relationship. As you are moving through your success path, you are going to need your coach and your mentor less and less and less and
Mm-hmm.
less. And anyone who micromanages needs to know that, because if they are not allowing people to have the distance they need to fail and succeed on their own, and then be there for them when they have questions, and not just tell them that you're there for them when they have questions, but when they have them, to actually address those things. And if you can't figure it out, to pass it on to somebody who can, then you're not doing everything you need to do as a leader, which is the biggest problem in the workplace. People don't take the time to truly help and guide their people in the way that they need to. Micromanaging is so prominent because they're afraid to let go and give that trust. But I think your mentor can just kind of waits for you to ask him if you need help,
Mm-hmm.
ask him for help, and he just provides it,
Right.
because that's what he should do.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you first started, it was probably a lot more than that.
Yes.
It was probably daily, weekly, and you probably were getting to the point where for a little while you're probably sick of each other. And, and then after a while, you started talking less and less and less. He was giving you the ability to make those mistakes, because you don't really learn unless you make those mistakes.
Right.
Mistakes are opportunities for improvement. It's not really a failure. People call them failure. I think those people that call it failure is failing the people that call it failure. That they're telling it's a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, that was fierce and fast and furious, but I had to address that because I actually had people on LinkedIn, which I didn't know you weren't that active on there. That's where I'm like most active. But there were a lot of people on there that, they don't seem that in Reddit. They don't seem to understand the difference between a mentor and a coach. And there's a clear delineation there. They could be the same person like you have, but they don't have to be. And sometimes they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have you as a leadership coach, and then I have Jay as a business coach. So, I mean, you learn things from different people.
Those are three good people to have in your corner right there.
I'm trying.
Well,
If I want to be the best, I got to learn from the best.
yes. As a matter of fact, a lot of people say, why do I need a coach? It seems like it's just some convoluted term. But, I didn't even know this till recently. But Michael Jordan, did you know that once he was recruited into the NBA, he didn't just have his coach for the Bulls, but he hired another performance coach to help him on the side, because he said, I don't want to just be great. I want to be a champion. And so when people are like, oh, I don't need a coach, I'm not doing my job wrong or badly or anything like that. Well, it's not that you're doing a bad job. What takes a person from good or great to amazing is when they invest in themselves to push past their limits and take their job performance to a place that it's never been before, because you have somebody pushing you and holding you accountable.
Yeah. With a fresh set of eyes who's done what you're trying to accomplish already and has had the results that you want, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, my goodness. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, you're going to be right back where you were. And if that person has a track record of success, it could just mean that you weren't putting forth the effort
Mm-hmm.
that it takes, because a coach doesn't actually provide you with any tools. All they do is they educate you a little bit and then they assist you in the process. The person that does the work is you.
Yep.
Just like life as a whole. You know, when you have a mentor or a coach in your corner, they can't do anything for you if you're not willing to take action and do the work yourself as well.
Yep.
If you don't do the work, you're not going to get any better at it.
Right.
And it's not going to get done.
And then you can't blame your coach. You got to blame you.
Yes. Yes. Go find a mirror and start blaming that person.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that is it for our quick training today. But do you have any closing comments that you would like to say? Maybe a plug for your business?
I don't have a plug for my business.
Why not? Okay, I do. Hannah helps people insure themselves, which is insurance. She helps people with getting the right insurance that they need and investing their money in a way that truly works for them, and then educating on the rest so you can meet your financial goals. And you should reach out to her. Hannah Prince, if you don't see her on any of the comments below my videos, then comment to me and I'll make a connection. That's my plug for Hannah for the day, since she didn't want to do it herself.
Thanks, JJ.
All right. If you're interested in these calls, I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm starting to get interest at different times, but people can't show up on Friday. So just let me know. It's $60 a month for a membership. I do this every Friday unless there's something coming up. I always reschedule. I never just not do the call. So if you're interested in this and some education with some conversation, I call it high-level conversation because we don't all learn unless we get more people here. Otherwise, it's just me flapping my jaws to Hannah all the time, and I don't know if she likes that or not. She'll never tell me. Anyway, my name is JJ Hardy, Victory Leadership Coaching. This is Hannah. Reach out to her if you have financial needs, and you all have a great